What's the place?
Or East or something. Yes, I can't think of the guy.
You liked him, but you forgot his name.
That's it. Mustn't have made much of an impression on me.
Well, no, that doesn't follow.
Basically, Star-Spangled Banner had an odd name called Anacreon in Heaven.
Anacreon in Heaven?
Yeah. I always thought that was strange. Who wants to say that down here?
Yeah, it's weird.
Hey.
What kind of drinking song was it? From what country? Oh, German?
British? Was
Yeah,
it
British?
Girl pepper.
British?
They used the music.
Good girl peppers.
Yeah.
Good girl. Come here.
Well, speaking of drinking, did you hear the famous story about Nelson, Lord Nelson?
Lord Commodore.
What about him? What did you?
Well, you know he died on a ship. You know, he died on a
Naval
ship.
Man's Dream, right?
Yeah, he died on a ship, and they had to bring him back. You know how it's it's an honor to be buried at sea,
Right.
but they wouldn't bury him at sea.
They put him in a
Because-
vat of Mom's wine.
Don't go to the rest. I went.
What was that? They put him in
No. He's going to get ahead of the story. Anyway, it's an honor to be buried at sea, but they couldn't bury him at sea
Why?
because he was too important. He was too important. I mean, if the ship showed up without him, there'd be a lot of problems. You know what I mean? Because he was too important. You know, for all they knew, it could have been a mutiny, and you threw him overboard. Well, you know, he was just too important. So anyway, they put him in what's those big a barrel of rum.
In a barrel of rum.
Right.
a vat.
Yeah, the vat of rum. Vat sounds better with a vat, I guess. So they put him in a vat of rum for the way back. So then when they got there, I want you women to be grossed out now. The night before they landed,
It started
all the sailors grabbed up a big tankard full and right into that rum barrel.
Well, I guess they wanted to preserve him, huh?
Yeah, but the guys wanted to celebrate.
It's a wonder they didn't get sick.
It's a wonder.
See, if the body's dying and you put him in rum,
I'm
what's
telling
it
you.
gonna do, man? I mean,
Yeah, but the alcohol will pickle him.
it will pickle him, huh?
I think
Yeah, I guess the alcohol would have killed anything
Preserved him, huh? The
Maybe not
alcohol.
forever, but for a while.
For a while.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I guess that means you love your
It was
captain.
fermented, pickled.
Oh
Yeah.
boy.
But it still sounds disgusting.
Boy.
True story.
Yeah, true story.
Is was it John Paul Jones? Is he buried in the rotunda in Annapolis? You know.
Oh, I don't know. I didn't hear about that.
Yeah, I think it is there.
Now, I'll tell you what I have been studying lately. You guys have been following the Titanic with this 100th
Yeah,
anniversary.
yeah.
I mean, you haven't been following it? No.
No.
I went online and I dug up as much information as I could. And there's obviously a lot there to dig up. And some things surprised me. Do you know that the lookouts didn't have binoculars?
Oh my goodness.
Well, did they have?
Did they have them back in the, when was that?
Yeah, no, they didn't have. At first,
Years ago.
when I first read that, I thought, well, it wasn't a big deal. They probably had telescopes. But no, they didn't have telescopes either. They didn't have anything. Now you ask yourself, why in the world would they not have had binoculars?
Yeah.
And wouldn't that seem important?
Yeah.
Because they had everything else on that
Why
boat.
did they not have them? Did they say?
Well, that's the interesting part.
They're supposed
The
to.
reason they didn't have binoculars is Captain Smith, who has the same name as me, but he's a sorry captain. You know, I mean, he has the same first, last name
Yeah,
too. But he came on at Southampton, and when he brought his men with him, some of his top men, he brought 3 or 4 men, but it ended up bouncing one of the guys that had started from Belfast down. One guy got bounced, and the guy that got bounced was David Blair. Well, David Blair was one of the lookouts, and David Blair
He had the binoculars.
in his locker, not knowing that he didn't know he was going to be bounced. No, nobody told him,
Yeah. Right.
and I guess he didn't think it was important enough to let anybody know the binoculars were in his locker. The only thing he said about the whole thing is he wrote a note a postcard to his sister, saying how incredibly upset he was that he wasn't going to be able to go on Titanic's maiden voyage.
Boy, he was lucky.
He sure
lucky
was.
Dude, that's all I can
Yeah.
say. Can you imagine when you saw that Titanic movie, the terrible, shock of those passengers. You know, they were trying to, the ones down the bottom were very unfortunate.
Oh yeah.
And trying to get up out of there, and they couldn't get up.
And it was only a small gash, but because those compartments were not all the way to the top,
Right.
they couldn't seal it off.
Yeah.
And the whole thing.
That was such a waste.
And what,
oh my
from
God.
what they found, the thing wasn't two pieces on the bottom, was it?
Yeah, that's what they said.
They think the back end stung up, and then
Yeah.
the weight of it just broke it off.
Well, tell them about the message from that they tried to send. And the guy was ready to just go to
They
sleep.
tried to send a bunch of messages, didn't they? And they
Right. Oh yeah, they tried to send the messages, but they were getting, the captain was instructing them to send out these other messages that the Marconi was getting paid for all these messages, Easter messages or something, and the captain himself told him, no, this is the priority. So when the ice warnings and different things come in, they just ignore them. No, we don't have time for this. Although they were aware of it. They weren't worried. They basically did think it was unsinkable.
Oh my God.
They did think it was unsinkable.
If they would have
Yeah, but
got
the
the
guy-
warnings up, they made.
But the guy that was ready to go to bed.
Oh yeah, the guy that was ready to go to bed, the Carpathia. He was getting ready in another minute to shut that thing off.
And go to
thing
sleep.
The wireless in his,
oh,
and he got that signal a minute. He was taking his shoes off, getting ready to go to bed. And well, they would have been rescued, but much later. Would have been much later. Yeah.
Well, but maybe they would have died.
Yeah, some of them probably would have died. Yeah. Yeah.
You can
Then-
only last about 10 minutes in that water. Ice water.
yeah.
Well, yeah. Well, everybody that was rescued was all rescued in boats. They were.
Boats, yeah.
Yeah.